Okay.
Stephen disappeared.
Oh god.
He's turned into a
This
fish
is
tank.
this is what I get for messing around with OBS late last night.
Chevy Fish is here. Won't be able to participate in chat much as I am traveling. Chevy, I tell you, every single Tuesday, focus on driving. Ignore my chat.
Probably a safe thing to do.
There you got Mystery Snail Guardians, William S. Chevy. Hey, everybody. Hi,
Yes.
Stephen. Hi, Rena.
Hi.
Hi, Rico. The entire time, ever since you said you'd be a guest for me, Rico, I've been like, oh God, what kind of questions do I want to ask him? You know, because you tend to talk about yourself, and you've probably answered every single one of my questions in previous streams on your channel.
That's okay, though. I haven't answered them for you, and Stephen
Chevy,
hasn't.
no texting. You focus on driving.
Still saying hi to everybody.
Yeah. Chevy's probably the only person I have as a mod right now because I've not found anybody else who'd be up for it or who's free enough, you know.
Gotcha.
But
She
I
is awesome.
managed to come up with a total of 10 questions
Cool.
for the
Well,
stream.
I hope they're good for both Stephen and I.
Well, yeah. They're basic generic questions like one of the questions is one that Chevy suggested to me last week, which is what got you interested in keeping fish?
Okay. Well, I'll jump in first. So I kept them when I was a kid, but I was away from them for a really super long time. And when I retired, I was sort of looking for something, and I have trouble getting out into nature, and I love nature. So I was looking for something to do, a hobby and stuff. And a friend of mine, well, not really a friend, somebody I know on Twitter, he's a comic book writer. He started showing all his fish tanks. I was like, oh man, I remember having those. And I knew we had a couple in the basement that the kids had kept like rodents and stuff in. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to start that. And I had a ton when I was a kid up until I was about 14 or so. So I jumped back in heavy. So now I have my room is just filled with nature, and I don't have to go out to it.
Hey, if you ask me, that's a pretty cool setup behind you there. So
it's comfortable. It's a comfortable room.
Oh, hey, look at there, right in chat. Petzotics is volunteering to be a mod,
and he's trustworthy. Diego's a good guy.
You know what? We'll definitely. Let's see. How do I add him as a mod? I gotta figure this out.
You can't do it in StreamYard. You have to do it on YouTube.
Yeah, it has to be on the YouTube side. Yep.
Gotta be on the YouTube side. Okay.
So while you're doing that, I guess I'll answer the question as well.
All right.
I kept fish just a little bit as a kid. I didn't really get into it until just a few years ago. Really, my wife Jenna was the one who got me into it because she needed a classroom pet, and there were so many regulations as to what she can't have because of allergies. Like there's allergies, there's her allergies, there's animals that might nip a kid's finger, things like that. That would be a liability. So it kind of just narrowed down to fish, which she's had fish when she was a kid too. So she got her tank. She wanted one for the house, and then I wanted another 12. So that's I don't know how many tanks do I have now because I just set up a rack. So I think I'm probably at 13 or 14 tanks.
And you started not that long ago, right, Stephen? It wasn't all that long ago.
Mid 2019 was probably yeah.
And that's actually another question I have on my list is how long have you been in the hobby?
So Stephen,
I mean 2.5 years.
Yeah. And it's been about a year and a half for me. About a year and a half. We're both pretty relatively new.
Did you
I
start
actually have
with
a couple of mods. Okay.
Rico? Did you start with one tank, or did you just set up a whole fish room?
No, I had one tank. I learned about the cycle because when I was a kid, we didn't really know about the cycle. At
Yeah.
least people I knew, fish store didn't know. You know, people I knew didn't know about the cycle. Um, so I started out with just the one tank. Took me about a month before I put fish in it, and I had just that one tank probably for I don't know 3 or 4 months before I bought the next one.
That was about the
Okay.
same as me. I had the tank for a few months, and then I was making plans for all kinds of places we could put tanks.
It goes quick. You blew up way faster than I did. Even what's your biggest? Oh, never mind. Rena, I'll let Rena ask the questions.
Interview
Well,
took over.
I'm having a hard time figuring out how to add Petzotics as a mod, so I'll figure that out later.
So if you go into the YouTube chat and you see the little dots next to his name and click on that, you should be able to
Okay.
add him.
Okay,
There you
there we
go.
go.
Yep.
There we go. Add moderator. There we go. It's been a while.
Mhm.
But Petzotics is now a moderator. So
Congratulations, Diego.
and I'm willing to answer questions for you guys too. So if
Well, what about
you guys
you?
want me,
How long have you been
yeah.
keeping fish?
I started June 2020.
Okay.
So
Still very
just
new.
over a year
Yeah.
for actually keeping fish right now. When I was a kid, my mom would, for a while, my mom used to buy us the little 20-cent feeder goldfish from like Petco or something. But she had absolutely no idea how to keep fish. I mean, she had this 5-gallon mason jar, no substrate, no filter, no aeration, nothing. She just filled it with straight tap water, added the aquasafe, dumped in the fish, and just left them be. She fed them once a day, but that was it. And that's my mom's idea of keeping a fish.
It's a lot of people like that, though. I mean,
Yeah.
when when I was a kid, I won a goldfish at a carnival, and I put that in a bowl. And I also didn't even know what dechlorinator was, so it didn't last very long.
Yeah. Same
Yeah.
here. The fish store. I went to a fish store. I think I had like gerbils or something first, and decided to get some
Hold on,
fish.
Bippy.
And they didn't tell me about any of that. All I knew is that I had to leave the tank set up for a couple of weeks beforehand. That was like 1972 or so, somewhere around there. Just knew I had to leave the tank set up for a couple of weeks. Didn't know why. Didn't know anything about it. So I guess that would have gassed off the chlorine anyways, and at least had the cycle sort of going. So I guess that's better information than some people had.
Yeah, and you have an excuse. You couldn't Google it. I grew up in the age of being able to look stuff up on the internet, at least, and I
Kaya,
was
please
a
just go
stubborn
play.
kid. Stubborn kid. You couldn't really tell me nothing. Do it my way.
Okay. And then what got me, well, to answer the previous question of what got me interested, that kind of ties in with how long I've been doing it. I had grown up, like I said, with the goldfish, and then now that I'd got my own kids, I wanted them to, be one of the kids that got to grow up with some kind of pet in the house. And I ended up finding this 30-gallon hexagon tank that someone had put on the curb. They were getting rid of it, just throwing
That's
it out
cool.
with the trash.
Man, I'm jealous. I never get those.
And I was living in an apartment building, and they were in the next building directly across the street, and they were throwing it out, didn't want it anymore. And I'm like, oh my God, this tank has no flaws. Or it looked like it didn't have flaws. Found out later on down the road after I'd been keeping the fish for a while that there was a tiny cut or scratch or something on the inside of the tank, and it started to make me worry that it might, start leaking or something. So I replaced it with a proper rectangle 29-gallon from Petco. But when I found that, I'm like, oh my God, this would be perfect for like starting a little fish tank with the kids. And we ended up getting 3 fancy tail goldfish in it.
Okay.
Nice.
I think I've never had goldfish except for that one that I won at a carnival. I kind of grew up with the idea that goldfish were the ones that die really easily.
Yeah,
And
that's the little 20-cent feeder fish, though.
Yeah, and that's just the way they're raised and kept. They're not very healthy.
Yeah. The more expensive fancy ones, they're a little bit easier to keep, a little bit hardier. I let my kids each pick out one. I had picked out a pretty calico fantail. My son picked a solid orange ryukin, and my daughter picked a black moor goldfish. And we had them for about 6 months before they got sick and started dying. I never figured out why they got sick either. But
well, what were you? I mean, because I've heard that about the fancy goldfish is like they'll get this mysterious illness and they just keel over and no one knows like what happened to them. But I mean, that's with guppies too. Like you get those guppies from the imported guppies, and they're raised in entirely different conditions than what you're going to be keeping them in.
Yeah. My 29 currently has a whole bunch of guppies in it right now. And I've had a couple die off, not sure why, but for the most part, they just there's always new ones in there to replace the one. For like every time I find one fish dead, I'll find like 13 babies swimming around. So it's like another question on the list that I had is, where do you guys live?
We actually share a house. No, I'm just kidding. I'm in upstate New York, right on the shores of Lake Ontario. And Stephen?
I'm way down south in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Not too far from water as well, right? How far is the ocean?
Well, ocean's probably about 2.5, 3 hours away.
Oh, okay.
But I'm, maybe 40 minutes from the Mississippi River.
And see, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm in Fargo, North Dakota.
Oh.
Well, at least they made a TV show about the place and a movie.
Yeah. I've seen the movie. I haven't seen the show.
Yeah, and you want to know the silly thing is, the movie is titled Fargo, but a lot of the shots were taken up in Grand Forks.
Yeah, at least it's still in the same state. Usually they do that, and it's filmed in Vancouver or something. Like totally far away.
Yeah, but no, I'm out in North Dakota, and I say I'm in the middle of nowhere because 3.5 hour drive northwest of here in a little town called Rugby. There's a stone pillar with a iron plaque on it that says Geographical Center of North America.
Gotcha.
So when people ask where I live, I tell them I'm in the middle of nowhere because, North Dakota, we're in the middle of the continent.
Well, I'd say I'm in the middle of everywhere because you're right in the middle of it all.
Yeah. I think the closest fish tuber to me is probably Jack and Dan out in Ohio.
Oh, I don't know. You got Minnesota. That's not super far, right? There's a few in Minnesota. You got Iowa.
The ones that I know of, anyway.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, there's quite a few in Iowa, and
Minnesota. Susan make a map.
Susan did make a map. Yeah. I don't remember where it's at, but
I don't know if I saved it or how to access it. But yeah, it was a cool map.
Yeah. All right. Another question is, what kind of fish do you guys own right now?
A lot. Steven has, well, no, I don't know. We probably have about the same, roughly different types.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really big into rainbow fish and pseudomagills, which some will call rainbow fish. Other more persnickety people will say they're not rainbow fish, but
Yes.
they're all kind of within that subfamily of Melanitanidae, whatever it's called. But yeah, rainbow fish, pseudomagills, a few tetra. I keep Corydoras in pretty much all of my tanks that will accommodate them. And, uh,
Diego's being silly in the chat, saying if you were in the middle of nowhere, you wouldn't be here.
true. So yeah, and then of course I've got this the tank behind me on the green screen is a bunch of live bearers, guppies and platies breeding.
Fun.
So yeah, just I like community tanks. I think Rico is kind of the same way, friendly, happy fish.
Yep, big time. I only have one. Well, no, I mean I have a couple of guppy tanks still, but I do have some pea puffers that are all alone with just a
Oh, yeah.
clown pleco. But everything else I have is all community tanks, and there's same. I've got some Bosmanis rainbows. I got some 3 different pseudomagills, a lot of barbs. Not a lot of barbs, only 2 different kinds of barbs. Tetras, um, some Corys, Raphael, spotted cats, albino plecos, a lot of cherry shrimp. That's the main. I think I covered. Oh, I have a. Well, they call it a blue lobster, but it's a crayfish, a blue crayfish named Zoidberg. He's very cool. He's in that tank, and this looks awfully dark in the background today, but he's in that tank right there.
That's a Futurama reference right there.
It is. It is. Yep. Zoidberg.
The blue lobster was the alternate universe Zoidberg, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one from the other box.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Zoidberg's probably my favorite in the room. He's my favorite. He's the one I interact with the most. But there's some I love the Bosmani rainbows, the pseudomagills. I got my pseudomagills because of Steven. He was showing his Luminatus up on a stream one day, and I had to have them. So during that stream, I went and bought some.
Oh, fun!
And now I've got the 3 different type together in that tank right up here, and this is my favorite tank though. It's a 75 gallon. This one's a little low right now. I've got Denison barbs in there, and black ruby barbs, and crebensis, and cold laser cories, spotted Raphaels, mystery snails. I think that's about it. But that's the one that's most fun to watch.
Chevy just asked a question for you guys, or probably for all of us. I don't know. It says, "What is a fish you would like to keep but won't, and what fish do you wish you never kept?" You know what? That's actually kind of similar to a couple questions I had written down. So she's actually hitting a couple out of the park for me.
Do you have an answer for those, Stephen?
I'm trying to think because it's a tough question, because I don't really think about the fish that I'll never have. You know, I think about fish that I'll put on maybe a long-term bucket list, because I know my wife Jenna really wants a black ghost knife. So I mean, that's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah.
I want a Shoutadeni puffer, and that's gonna happen maybe sooner, just because it requires way less of a tank size. So, and then I don't know if I have any regrets on fish I never kept, other than pet store guppies. Like, no more imported non-quarantine guppies for me.
Yeah.
When I buy guppies, I want to make sure that they are homebred by a hobbyist.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. That's the only fish that I wish that I had never bought. Was I did buy like a female and a male from I don't know, one of the two, Petco or PetSmart. I can't remember which one it was. And fish I'd like to keep but won't. That'd probably be like maybe one of the hairy puffers, or one of the expensive puffers, because I don't want to spend the money on something like that. It would be there's, being so new to the hobby, there's so many cool fish that aren't rare, that aren't very expensive, that I'll keep long before I ever get to any
Mhm.
of those. So I think it would just be, uh, how expensive they are that would stop me from keeping something. And I'm going to say that I think the hairy puffer is up there. I could be wrong. Maybe they're not that crazy. The most I've ever spent on anything was, geez, it was probably no, it might have been Zoidberg. I can't remember how much I spent on them now though. It wasn't a lot, 20 or 30 bucks. That's the most I've spent on any single fish in my fish room.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's probably I've spent $55 on a betta from KG Tropicals. That's probably my most expensive, unless I'm thinking, not remembering something.
I see. For me, fish that I'd like to keep but won't. Well, that's a lot of fish right now because I would love to have a whole bunch of tanks and have my own fish room and everything, like all you guys do. But for me, I can't because I don't have the space. I don't own my own house right now. I don't have a spot designated to just fish. So, and right now in a trailer home, I have to be careful on what I do get because I don't want to risk the tanks falling through the floor of the trailer,
Yeah.
Hmm.
especially when
Yeah.
I'm only renting the trailer. I don't own it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
wonder what James does to reinforce the floor.
he does do something. I know he's talked about it before, but I can't remember what it is. Maybe cinder blocks or something under certain joists or something. But I know he does.
Mm.
But Stephen, Jenna had a good point there. You probably, well, no, I don't know about the first part. You probably regret those giant Danios, but you'll never keep saltwater fish. She's probably right. I would like to have saltwater fish, but I
Hey,
probably won't either. So I don't know if she's right for Stephen, but she's right for me.
and
Yeah.
we've actually got a Jenna P 2005 in the chat saying, Steven, you'll probably regret those giant Danios
Mhm.
and will never keep saltwater fish.
That's his wife.
Yeah, that's my
Jenna.
wife. And
Yeah.
so the giant Danio she's referring to, when we first set up a tank in this house, the employee at the pet store was just kind of helping us stock a community tank, and I didn't really know much about anything, and so just picking out fish I like, and including like a group of neon tetras. And before we left, he said, "Here, take these giant Danios for free," like gifting us fish. And I'm like, "Okay, great." I assumed that he knew what he was talking about and that they would be fine. But I would say within minutes, maybe even seconds, that we released the giant Danios and the neon tetra, the giant Danios devoured like half the neon tetras.
Oh my God.
It was a
That's
frenzy.
horrible.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
God.
Did you
yeah.
ever mention it to the guy? Did you ever go back and say anything or?
No, I mean, I don't know. I just
I
kind
see. I
of,
probably would have gone back and said, hey, these fish you gave me, they just totally destroyed all the other fish I bought. I want
I mean,
replacements.
things from that things from that LFS are kind of hit and miss, and so I've kind of gotten away from buying fish from there because like there's some things that I know are going to be fine, but a lot of their stuff is very standard pet store type of fish, and so I found my online sources that I like, and yeah, I'm going to pay a heck of a lot more, but I know that I'm going to get healthy fish, so that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. I like my LFS. Nancy's really cool. Anytime I go in there for whether I'm just looking or if I'm looking to get like one thing, she's always willing to help, always willing to talk to me. She loves it when the kids go in and ask her questions. So, and we've
You
got hashtag B Day going on in the chat. I have
So it
no
was
idea what that's about.
Yeah.
Brienne's birthday. Oh, and Brienne's a mod. You had Brienne's birthday, and I think they just finished up a little bit ago. So they're sending over a bunch of people to say hi.
Ah, okay. Well, happy birthday to Brienne.
Yeah,
I
her
hope the I
family
hope
put
the video
together.
was good.
Yeah, I saw the very first part of it before I came in here. They put together a really nice video for Bree's birthday. We all contributed.
Um,
Fun.
and not to change the subject too much, but Sandy or Brianne or anybody, are you guys going to put that video out, or should we just go back and watch the live stream to see it? I just want to I want to see all the different people that joined in.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It'll be posted later, so we'll get to see the full thing in all its full quality.
Nice.
Looked like it was very well edited. I guess Olivia did all that.
It'll be posted later. Okay, very cool.
She's got some
all right.
skills.
Thank you guys, girls, ladies, people.
All right.
We've had cake and ice cream at Breeze.
And then another question I have on here is, what fish have you had the longest at any given point?
Stephen?
Well, so when we set up the first tank, it's a 40 breeder, and I believe the first batch of fish that we got included some Macaulay rainbow fish, which we still have, and some emerald and bronze corridoras, which we also still have. And I might be missing something else, but like around that time, we got kind of the same like the same fish that we got around that time. We still have like an angelfish, some rosy tetras, and some Australian rainbows that are in there.
So mine's probably, it's hard because I had some guppies that I got from Guppy Guru, from Peter Guppy Guru, and the heater stuck on in that tank and cooked almost all of them. It only a few of them survived. A couple of females survived. Ooh. And they were already pregnant, so they, the fry, I had all those fried, but I gave away almost all of them. So it's sort of that strain of guppies. I don't know that I have any of those original guppies from a year and a half ago. I might, because I do have some large females, but I gave away almost all of them to Patty and to Monster Fish Gal when we met at the Keystone Clash. I still have a few, so it's possible that those are the longest one. The second longest would probably be the cherry shrimp, and the third longest would be my Bosemani rainbows. So I've had the Bosemani rainbows for about a year and I don't know, 4 months.
Cool.
Cheesy Lounge Singer was the best, though. Geek Boy said. I hope it came out good. I actually sang to Brianne, and I tried to be like a lounge singer. I just hopefully it wasn't too bad. Yeah. Oh, Mystery Snail Guardians too. You want to enjoy your lovely singing again.
Not sure how long I've had my guppies.
I sent that. I'm sorry, Rihanna. Go ahead.
Not sure how long I've had my guppies, but we have a 10-gallon tank that Kaya has a couple of mollies in. She had bought them as itty bitty fry, 7 of them for $1 from Petco, from the adoption tank. They were the last 7 out of like 800 that a guy had brought in. And it just blew my mind that a guy had brought in 800 baby fish to Petco for them to just get rid of, But Kaya's had them since August of last year. She currently has 4 left in there, plus a small male bristlenose pleco that she's had in that tank for a year. Nice. And the bristlenose, someone actually gave it to me for free because they had a bunch of babies to get rid of, and they gifted me one for free.
I like free fish.
I didn't know that Petco would even take fish.
Yeah, maybe certain ones, huh?
Can me and Mister play living game? Because
go ask Daddy. Mommy's doing her stream. Yeah, just go ask Daddy. Mommy's doing her stream. But yeah. And then this is my experimental tank right here. I've had it set up for a couple months now. It's got sand, a stick, and a giant boulder in it. Plus, all the water that's in it is from a lake that is a 30-minute drive from here. The only thing that I've put in there personally, other than water from the Molly tank to top it off when it evaporates too far down, is a little tiny, like 1 to 5 gallon sponge filter, just like one of those little mini triangle shaped corner ones. And there is no heater in that tank. I'm keeping it as close to lake setting as possible, minus the sponge filter, to keep the water clear. But I put 2 baby guppies that were just itty bitty things from the big tank in there to see how well they do. They've been in there for, let's see here. I put them in there at the end of August, and they are currently both still alive in the tank.
Cool.
They're
is that like
actually
the
swimming around right now. They're right here.
resurrection jar that Father Fish was talking about? I feel like he said something about a resurrection jar where you go to your local waterway, you collect the mud and water from there, and then like let it sit and watch life spring from it.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of snails in there too that hatched from hidden eggs that were on the rock in there. But yeah, it's 100% pure lake water. I took water bottles, emptied them, drank them down while I was at the lake. And then as we were leaving, I filled the bottles with water straight from the lake. So, and then I took the sand from the lake too. So everything in that tank is 100% lake.
Nice.
Yeah.
Might try that with my ditch. There's gambusia in there, or there was. It might be too cold for them now.
Yeah, I remember seeing that video when you went out there and showed them. That was you, right?
Yeah.
I wish I had something like that near me. Closest thing I have is the Red River, and the only thing swimming in that thing is catfish.
I mean, this is literally a puddle in the ditch. Like, it's just the front yard servitude, and you just, like, during the summer, there was some little fish swimming around there. I just wanted to see what they were.
Yeah. I did the same thing with the bay. I went down and collected some, and they were actually turned out to be baby bluegills. So they're in this little 29 gallons behind me here.
Yeah.
And they're not babies anymore. They're growing pretty fast now. I'm gonna have to get my tub set up.
Oh yeah, I was wondering if you had any plans for those.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a 300 gallon Tough Stuff tub and put it in the basement because I bought some rosy fathead minnows too that are natives. So
Okay.
I'm gonna throw them in there as well. Although when the bluegills get big enough, they'll be eating those. So if they live that long, those minnows don't typically live that long. So who knows? Who knows if they'll still be around when the bluegills get big enough? I want to get some other native stuff though and make it a native tub. It's all the plants and stuff, just like like you were saying, Rena. All come from the bay, all the hornwort and all that stuff.
Yeah. See, I wish I had plants like hornwort and stuff to take from the lake to bring. I had tried to bring some of the seaweed grass type stuff from the bottom of the lake, but it all died right away. It was dead by the time I got home, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, it's cool, Rico, living by the bay, though. I'd be out there a lot, like just trying to see what's in there.
I should be out there a lot more often than I am.
Well,
but
yeah,
I'm here instead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, I'm happy you're here.
Well, thank you.
The great indoors.
Hey, if you weren't here, I wouldn't have a fun stream for people to come check out. I mean, not very often Rico is the guest answering questions, right?
I do it enough.
Mm-hmm.
I've been up on enough. A lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Although lately not so much. I think a lot of people, I've already been up on their streams, so once is plenty for most people. Once is enough. Stephen needs to start making the rounds a little more. I know he's going to be on the hot seat relatively soon, right?
I mean, from what you, I think you relayed that to me. I haven't heard from anybody. I
Oh, okay. I thought that was set. I'm sorry.
no, and I haven't heard from anybody. I do have a date set with Big Tank Hank on
Cool.
December 16th or 17th.
That'll be a good one.
Mhm.
That'll be a good one.
And that's all I got. I just like if I'm invited, I'll say sure. You know, that's just
There you go, people. If you want to
Hey,
guess.
you're always welcome to be a guest on my stream.
cool.
Just send me a message on Facebook.
And this, I mean, during the day like this is uncommon.
Yeah.
It being Thanksgiving week, most of my
For you.
coworkers are already gone. But normally, I work full time. I work from home, but I like
Yeah.
to be available, and I don't want an employer to stumble across me on afternoon delight or something in the
Yeah.
middle of the day.
Yeah, that's why he never comes up with me during the day, because he's supposed to be working.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, let's see. And then the last question I actually have on my list is, what is your perfect dream tank? Like fish, plants, etc. What is your number one dream tank you would love to have?
Go ahead, Steven.
Well, I guess realistically would be something like a 120 or a little larger. Like I don't want a tank that's so big that I can't reach down and do the scaping and stuff and do maintenance on it regularly. I don't want it to be too overwhelming, but something that'll accommodate Jenna's black ghost knife and a bunch of fish that could go with it. And again, it would be a community tank because that's what I'm about. Like I still haven't gotten into the monster fish like a lot of people do. I just hasn't appealed to me. Can't say that it won't ever appeal to me. It's just not my thing right now. So what about you, Rico?
You pretty much nailed it. Other than the black ghost knife, not
Big
that I have
old
anything
community
against them,
tank.
but that's about the same. I'd like to have a larger tank about that size, but just like you said, something I can maintain, something I don't have to climb inside of to get to
Yeah.
the bottom of. And it would be a community tank, but I don't know what I would stock it with. It would just be large schools of different types of fish that played nice together. So, it could be some
Talk to Daddy.
some rainbows or whatever it was, but
Yeah.
a few different types of different large schools. And shrimp.
It would also be cool one day to have like a river system like a tank that just does 90-degree turns along a wall all the way around the house, and it's like
Who has one of those?
I don't
Not all the way around, but they've got a corner tank. Somebody I know has one of those corner tanks. One of the fish tubers. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah, well, yeah, just like a kind of a biotope of something, probably something Australian or Papua New Guinea. That their whatever river system, and maybe like build in some tributaries coming from different rooms that connect to that tank, and just kind of let life work itself out in the tank. I bet that'd be very expensive to build into a house. You have to build it into the house for sure.
Yeah, but that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I think my dream tank is saltwater tank. Just have a tank, take everything that goes in the tank from the ocean, like straight up ocean water, straight up, corals and stuff. Just take a little slice of the ocean, put it in a tank in my house, and just leave it be.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
That's probably my dream tank.
And then my wife Jenna in the chat, she's already got the list: black ghost knife, Altum angels or discus, golden roseline barbs, and maybe a dojo loach.
Those golden rose lines, those are definitely on my short list.
Yeah.
I do have the regular rose lines, but the goldens are just amazing. Those are the ones behind Dan's fish that everybody's always like, what fish is that? Yeah. Every stream, there's at least one person that asks. Every single one. It's like a running joke now.
Yep.
You should get a shirt that says they're golden rose lines, something. Sort of like the if you don't like Oscars shirt,
Yeah. The big barrier to that dream tank is the house. like Jenna just said in the chat, we got to get a new house first before we can fit that tank anywhere.
I wish I had a house. But I'm happy with my trailer, you know, my own four walls that aren't connected to anybody else.
Oh yeah.
I'll take this for as long as it takes to get up to having my own house.
Gotcha. It's bittersweet for me. The next big thing is building a fish room in the basement. But when I do that, that means one of my kids have moved out, and they're both adults. The last two at home are still they're adults, but I don't want them to leave, so it'll be bittersweet. I really want to build that fish room, but I don't want them to go anywhere. You know.
Yeah.
Now, what about that big pond that you're doing? That's going to be next year.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's the plan, but it's sort of a pipe dream at this point. I mean, I haven't looked into it at all.
Choo-choo tray.
Oh,
Was that here or that somewhere else? Like it sounded like it was right outside. Okay. Like we got a train going down the road.
I didn't know what the hell it was.
Kaya, please stop bothering me. I'm trying to do my stream.
Was I getting gassy?
I don't know what it was. All I heard was a train sound go
Was
on.
it at your place, Stephen?
I think maybe it was.
Jenna said it startled me.
Yeah. Jenna, was that here? Like I hear it through my
Jenna said that startled me.
Yeah. I think it must have been a big truck or something going down. It's gone now, so I don't know. Oh, yeah. Neighbors have like a big concrete truck or gravel truck rather that they park in the yard sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah. Telling the neighbors they're home. Dude.
Yeah.
So the pond, before we were rudely interrupted, the pond is it's I don't know, it's what I want to do, but I don't I need to have a contractor come out and give me a quote on doing most of the work. You know, I don't want to the stream part's easy. That part's simple. The stream we can do, but the actual pond itself at the bottom, digging that, you know, because I want it to be 5 foot deep in the middle part of it. So
wow, yeah, that'd be really nice. You could put a lot in there.
Yeah, but what would I put in there?
Bluegill.
Maybe. I mean, somebody who was talking about that too, having a native pond.
I don't know. I mean, that's just my first knee-jerk reaction for a big pond like that is go get some native fish.
Yeah, it would be very, very cool to have just native stuff in there. But at the same time, I would like to have I'd like to have a ton of golden white cloud minnows, or maybe some different Bosemani's or whatever. Oh, Kelly Foreman said that today when we were interviewing her. And Jenna said, just claim the bay as your pond. I could. I mean, we do have waterfront property there. Problem is, there's too many other people in it with their
jet skis,
watercraft. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name. Jet skis.
So you know what you do? You take a giant buoy net that it's got the floaters on the top, and then the net has weights at the bottom that just sinks down to the sand. You just rope off a section and have that be your property.
I think they might get upset with me for taking part of it. You want to see fish from the top.
If it's in front of your house, they can't do anything about it.
Oh no, you can. There's the my property ends at the high tide line. That's just how it works. That's my property.
Oh, see, that's where you go and find out how much it would be to buy that little section of water.
You can't. Any water in New York State that's navigable is public. It's so if there's a stream, if there's a creek, that you can navigate. That means if you can get a kayak and canoe, anything like that, then it belongs to everybody. It's a great law. Right. It's a great law. It should be like that everywhere.
You want to see fish from the top.
Well, if it's 5 foot deep, I guess I could get in there and then I could see them from the side.
Go snorkeling,
yeah. I hate to say it, but we've got to take off, Rena, because we have a
Okay.
prior engagement. That's what I was saying. We can only stick around for about
It's all
45
right.
minutes.
It's all right. I actually ran out of questions to ask you anyway, so I was just gonna
Okay.
see if you guys had any final questions for me before you took off.
I do not, but thank you for having me up. Stephen, I'm sure you feel the same. I didn't want to talk for you, though.
But yeah, thank you for having us up.
Not
Appreciate
a
it.
problem. Thank you for coming up, you guys.
Sure
You're
thing.
always welcome back. Like I said, just shoot me a message on Facebook or leave a comment in a future video or something, and I'll send you a link for a stream.
Very
Alrighty.
I go every Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Central, 5 Eastern. So
Okay.
if it works out for you, just let me know and you can always
Yeah.
come back up.
It's always hard because I do my focus on just in a half an hour from now, so
Hmm.
it's always tough to carve out too much time. But
Yeah.
all right, well, thanks for having us, Stephen. We'll see you later. Rena, we'll see you later. Everybody in chat, we'll see you later.
All right.
Have a good
All
night.
right.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was awesome. I'm so glad that they were able to come on. Everyone in chat, you're welcome to stay for the last 15 minutes. If you have any questions that you want to ask me, feel free to go ahead and do it. This is basically open question time, so. uh, um, it was definitely fun having Rico and Steven up today. First time to the channel, welcome. I hope you're enjoying it. Most of the time I don't have a guest, so I usually have no idea what to do for my streams. But I'm real happy Rico said he'd be able to be a guest today. Steven being a guest was a bonus. The original plan was for Chattanooga Ed to be up, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. So Steven joined us, which was totally fine. I have absolutely nothing against that. If anybody in chat wants to be a guest in a future stream, just let me know. Because, yeah, I'm more than willing to have people up. All right. All right. Yeah, I can do that. Look at there. We've already got next week covered. Jimmy P's Aquariums. I have time for everyone, so if you'd like me to visit with you next week, I will definitely do that. I'm going to take a little picture of that comment quick so I got your email. We will look at there. We'll have that set up for next week. I'll definitely send you an email. That's awesome. We got 10 minutes left. If anybody's got any questions they want to ask, go for it. Jimmy's an awesome guy, huh? Well, we'll have Jimmy up next week, so be sure to come back for that. As I said, my streams are every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. If you want to be a guest, let me know. Find me on Facebook, leave a comment in a video, whatever. Yeah. Unfortunately, right now, Jimmy, the only videos I do are my streams. I don't have any sort of equipment really for doing videos other than my streams, because I don't have a way of editing anything. My video quality for this stream is actually kind of on the poorer side because I usually use my cell phone for doing my streams for the better video quality. But today with the two guests, I pulled out my laptop so I could do be able to have them up and watch the YouTube chat as well instead of waiting for the StreamYard chat to scroll. I do hope to someday be able to do the regular streams like everybody else does. Skipper's Aquariums, hi, welcome. For anyone who is subscribed but hasn't been getting any notifications, I would say double check the notification bell. Select to be notified of all videos instead of just some, because I'm not sure how else to control how that happens. I do want to thank everybody who is new to the channel, who has subscribed and everything, because it means a lot that you guys actually like my content. But yeah. Today I keep coughing because I have a little bit of a cold, so I'm sorry about that. I hope you guys all had fun getting to listen to Rico and Steven answer questions. Don't worry, Jimmy. I'll send you an email. 5 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions or anything? Alright. Well, if there's no other questions, then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you everyone for coming. I hope y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. Have fun with family. And I will see you all next week. Alright? Bye.